What's up, guys? It's Colby.
Today we're here with Wilbur Joe.
Hi, just wanted to give a quick intro. A lot of this video is voiced over, but please stick around as I really love how it turned out. On Thursday, we drove to Cork and stayed at the Radisson Blu in Little Island. The staff were amazing and we couldn't have asked for a better stay. We even got complimentary waters in the room, which was a really nice touch. As it was just myself and Mam, we only had a twin room, which was completely fine with us. The beds were comfy and the TV wasn't really turned on as we weren't really in the room that much. There's me. Hi. And then the next day we went to Cobh. So we were a bit too early for our tour, so we just walked around for a bit and we went to John F. Kennedy Park. And my God, we were just absolutely blessed with the weather. There's our chariot that took us across to Spike Island. So the boat ride itself wasn't too bad. The water was calm enough, thank God. And yeah, while you're on the boat, it was kind of just weird to see Cobh in the distance, and kind of just made you think of everyone that had left there in the past. So when we did get to Spike Island, we did do the tour and it brought us up to the fort itself, Dún an Bhistelig, and a lot of my fellow Sam and Colby fans will recognize that spot. A lot of this video is just inside the fort as we didn't have time to explore the outer parts of the island. Our first stop was the punishment block, built in response to the murder of warder William Reedy in 1856 and imprisoned the likes of John Mitchell, who the fort is now named after. The one thing I will say about the punishment block was the immediate smell that hit you as soon as you walked in. It was just very musty and damp, and no other kind of place that I went into on the island smelled that way. So yeah, it wasn't really that it was eerie, it was just the smell. As you can see, most of the cells were exhibitions. This one in particular was about how children were punished during the famine, and the youngest child to be imprisoned on Spike Island was just 12 years old. This was a prisoner's weighing scales that was introduced in the 1800s, and these were the showers that were introduced in the 1980s by the Naval Service, and the writing on them is from when it was in use and it hasn't been touched since. Upstairs there wasn't really much to see. A lot of the cells, like I said, had been transformed. So upstairs there were art exhibitions of the prisoners' art, which I will include here. And then our next stop was the Artillery Gun Park. And I'm gonna stay quiet for most of this as I want you to hear what I heard and what kind of scared me, even though there was no reason to be scared. was then time for us to make our move, so we walked along in front of Mitchell Hall and we walked kind of towards cell block A before turning and walking up the steps to the guns and the view of the harbour, which was absolutely amazing. Like, the views from the island alone were incredible. There's the Cork flag for anyone that doesn't know. And you can see it was a very windy day. My hair was all over the place, so that's why I'm voicing over, as I didn't want to show myself in the video. This was Bastion number 3. There wasn't much really to say about Bastion number 3, so I'm going to stop talking, put a bit of music here, and pick it back up when we get to cell block A. And there we have it, cell block A. So as you can see, it's destroyed. It was destroyed in a fire in 1985 by the rioting young offenders, which I will talk more about soon. Saddest story of all for me of cell block A is that of Patrick White. The inmates would play hurling, which is one of the national sports here in Ireland, to pass the time. And Patrick White was playing hurling. He lost his slitter over the wired fence and he stuck his hand out to retrieve it, but a soldier mistook this for him trying to escape and he was shot dead. Each year, people from his hometown in Clare come to lay wreaths in his memory. Next up was Bastion number 2, and this had to be the eeriest part of the island for me. I did talk in some of these clips, so I'm gonna be quiet now again and you can hear me talking and the howling of the wind, hopefully. Oh my god. The howling of the wind, and it's so creepy. Do you hear that? Oh my god, that's creepy as fuck. But look at that. That is massive. Bro, that is huge. So last up on the island for us, besides the shop and the cafe, were the 1985 riot exhibition and the modern prison. 1985 young offenders rioted and they ran down to the docks, but there were no boats on the docks and they ended up hot wiring a JCB, which they drove into the main entrance of the fort, which you saw earlier. They then raided the shed and took weapons and made petrol bombs, which is why A block is destroyed to this day. The riot lasted for hours before the prisoners climbed onto the roof of Mitchell Hall and remained there for most of the following day. This is our little tour on Spike Island. I will definitely be returning again, as we didn't get to see the outer part of the island, and just going through the map there, I think we missed a few pieces on the inside of the fort as well. Back in Cobh, we went to St. Coleman's Cathedral, which, as I said earlier, would have probably been the last thing that most people saw leaving Cobh, especially those that were on the Titanic. And here we have me walking down the famous deck of cards, just a lot of different coloured houses. So that was my little Cobh and Spike Island, following in the footsteps kind of Sam and Colby vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. If you made it this far, thank you so much. Comment down below a mountain emoji. This was something different for me voicing over, so I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much for watching.